tell us your name, where you're from, just a bit about yourself, really.
Yeah, excellent. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Thanks for inviting me here, firstly. And my name is and I'm 50 years old, and I'm born here, and I'm born in East London of Hackney. So I've grew up here all my life. But since growing up, when I was about 16, I first got into trouble with police for, robbery and something silly like that. And when I didn't go to prison, I got on probation because it was the first time I got in trouble. So that would be the start of it, I would say. And when I was about 18, I fell into the wrong company and started using drugs, and talking hard drugs, obviously. But first, I started on, cannabis, as you would, and then from there, progressed to hard drugs. And so from a point of 18 until I hit approximately 20, I suffered a mild heart attack. Now, that was an important time for me when that happened, because when I got released from hospital, I thought, well and hard as to, how am I going to get off this drug, But you can't just stop it, like you can't just switch a button and you turn it off. So I thought to myself, well, the only good way about it would be to go to prison. So I committed a burglary just so I could, get myself arrested. So I thought a burglary would be a good idea. So I did that. After about 6 months, the police turned up at my door and they've arrested me subsequently for a burglary. Now, that would be my first time in prison, okay? So I ended up going there in 1994. So as I went to the prison, I was able to be there, and I got help with the rehab wing. They had a rehab wing there, and I remember going on there. And I also remember taking part in the 12-step program. Now, the 12-step program, I may say, is very good, and it does help, provided you want that help. And when I came out, I realised that I wasn't thinking about drugs. I didn't want to smoke them. I had no intention to even smoke again.
I think for me, I kind of came from a family that had a lot of addictions and had spent time in custody. So I came at it from a different avenue, really. So I worked mostly in care for most of my adult life, and then I worked with a lot of people with brain injury, and then went on to work with drug addiction, and then I trained to be a counsellor. And I found that whilst that I was working with people with drug addiction or substance misuse, that was just always a symptom. It was never the cause of the problem.
My family saw me when I was on the drugs, and they was crying left, right and centre. I looked really withdrawn and really ill, and they felt bad and I felt bad. And biggest mistake I've ever done, because up until this day it affected me. But anyway, I'll carry on with what I'm saying. So I bought some drugs, and I ended up starting to sell these drugs on the street to known people who were known to me to smoke drugs. And some of these people were people in question that I used to smoke with. So I ended up selling it to those people. So I went to prison for the second time, for the second drug offence, and I've never been in an open prison. That's the first time. So it was new to me, for one, and also there's no locks, there's no bars, there's no gates. You can walk in and out of prison, literally, so it's that trust element. And I thought, right, this is a good look, because since I'm in a DCAT, I'm going to use all the opportunities, what they put in front of me. Now, as soon as I got there, I was very proactive in getting onto courses, speaking to various departments and everything, and just trying to establish something good for myself. So I ended up going to English, and my English teacher, whose name is Tom, who is also a mentor right now for me, he was really welcoming and everything. So I ended up going in the class, we spoke, and he saw something in me which I never saw. So he said, "You're a very intelligent guy, you're very intellectual, and and all these types of things he was saying." I'm thinking, nah.
Biggest sort of keys, I'd say, to rehabilitation is really trying to give, you know, the participant, the POP, whoever it is, the tools and the skills to be able to then manage their life once they don't have the support from other professionals. So I think that's probably the key thing with kind of all services and agencies that work with people on probation is, you know, don't just do things for them. Let's, you know, empower them, give you the tools and the skills to then be able to continue once we're out of your life.
And so while I was in the class with him, I was practicing like all complex sentences, collocations, punctuations, and all that type of stuff. So I end up becoming really good at it because I've got a good memory because I've worked with computers. So I end up remembering everything. And when what happens is after I pass my exam, but he wants me to stay in class as a tutor. You know, so I'm teaching the other guys now who wants to get their level 2s. So anybody that will come on a class, I would be teaching them through the interactive board, whiteboard, and I'll be doing the work with them. And Tom would sit in the office, and I'll be doing the work. So I did what I could, and when I couldn't understand or couldn't do nothing, then I'd obviously call Tom to assist me. So that went really well, and he said, you know what, you'd be a really good teacher, and I think that you should do the AET course.
From a personal experience, when I've had family actually come out of custody and on a script, for example, on, you know, he's been an addict, again I won't say his name, but he's come out of prison on a Friday afternoon, been on a script in prison, and then get out Friday afternoon, he can't get this script for methadone or whatever it might be, and then you're left out in society, and then you can't get that because you've got to get that, you know, for a doctor, so you've got often nowhere to live, nowhere to go, and you're set up to commit another crime, really. But this is where race is different. It's actually made that kind of, they've gone in and they've met people at the gate, sorted out, you know, to the best of their ability to get that person a prescription for, you know, that replacement drug, got them housing, just trying to get them set up on that path so that it's literally as soon as you're not released from prison, you're already thinking about going back in.
Because I didn't want any help, I didn't think I required any help, I wouldn't ask for no help. So help is there if you should want it, but you have to ask for it and speak to the officers. Now, you know, what I would say, right, what changed for me on this one, before I answer your other question, is that I was able to reach out to the officers, and the officers saw that I was genuine. And if you're genuine in what you do and you treat them with respect, then they will treat you with the utmost respect. Doesn't matter of your race, your religion, your colour, anything. Because some people like to use the race card, and I've heard it, they've bit in there. They say, oh, because I'm this, because I'm that. And it doesn't matter what colour they are. You're a human being, all human beings. So, you know, if you're upstanding and you've got dignity and you deal with people in a way that is correct, then you will be all right. So what I did was I was able to go to the officers and speak to them in a way that they listened to me. And I didn't go demanding. I went and said, may I get help with this? Would I be able to do that? And they were saying, if it was yes, it was a yes. 9 times out of 10, it was yes. So they helped me with everything I asked for and more. Now, that was it. So what I would like to, my advice would be to anyone who's in the position that I've been in, and that there is people in this position and worse off than I was, because everyone's circumstance is different. I would urge you to reach out to an officer. There'd be one officer who you get on with. If you're not getting on with like half of them, there'd be one officer that you can get on with, and that one officer is the one that will help you and get you to the place you need to get to. And just to focus on one officer or one inmate who you can trust, because it's about trust. Because sometimes people don't want to open up to people for various reasons, because they might get exploited and they might find a vulnerability, and then they can exploit that. So a lot of people tend to be shut, but you just have to trust in the system. Because I used to say, and I said it to you earlier, I said the system doesn't work. Rehabilitation doesn't work. Well, it does work, but you've got to ask for it and you've got to go for it. And it won't work for you if you don't do anything. due to the fact I had 2 deaths in my family on this sentence. One being my sister, she passed away unexpectedly a year ago, and my mum passed away literally 2 months ago, and I buried her last month. And yes, that is hard. That was been very hard for me and emotional, as it would be for anyone. I mean, I literally could have just collapsed on the floor, you know. So it's the fact that I'm very resilient, as we all are, as human beings. It's innate in us, and I've been able to get the right support in Ford through safer custody, and all the officers, including the number 1 governor and the deputy governor and all the CMs and everybody, they have been truly quite remarkable and amazing in the way that they've helped me through this. Now, also, my family, my siblings, my brother, my sisters, because I've got 3 sisters now, because I had 4, one's passed. So all my sisters and my mum, before she passed, obviously being in contact and chatting with me and everything, and on a regular. My sister usually travels up to the prison, and we go up for town visits, and we go for food and the beach and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, family network is an integral part of my life, and it's really good at the moment. Since I've come out, it's even better, because I find myself being with my family all the time, because they are so important to me. I don't want to lose no more of my family, and we only have a short time left with my family, because my dad's in his 80s, so obviously his right hand is not here, he's my mum, so that's very, hard for him. So I just want to make sure he's all right and everything.